Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Khans of Tarkir Swiss draft. Got another Sage of the Inward Eye. I think we're going to go that route again. It's a great card. And nothing else is really close to the power level of Sage in this pack, I would say. Crippling Chill is a good card though. Horde Ambusher is a card I like. Yeah, nothing else in here is really worthy of mentioning. I guess Canyon Lurkers is pretty playable. But let's take the Sage and move on. All right. Follow-up pick. Well, Jeskai Wind Scout seems like a pretty legitimate one. Certainly better in Jeskai than the Savants and the Flock. And Leaping Master's fine too, but not nearly as good as Wind Scout. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy Wind Scout here. There is an Armament Core, which is quite good, but let's focus on this Sage rather than go down the rabbit hole of 5-color right away. Seems a bit excessive. All right, follow up another Wind Scout seems fine. Nothing else super worthy of mentioning otherwise. Dismal Backwater's probably fine if some black card comes up, or Sultai cards. Wait, that's not right. Sultai would make me have to go green too. So Backwater, give me a black splash would let me go Mardu, some Mardu cards perhaps. But let's take the Wind Scout. Actually, Backwater's really good for helping me splash Mardu in a Jeskai deck because I don't need the blue, and then this source would give me the missing color that I would presumably need. So I like that, but still gonna take a Wind Scout over it because Wind Scout is good in Jeskai. All right. I think it's probably just an easy Battle Priest, good card in general, not really giving up much for it. Another piece of fixing, which would still let me do some Mardu, but no reason to pass a Battle Priest. It's a pretty strong card in general, and certainly fine in Jeskai. All right, well, there's a Rough Rider here, but I think we're going to actually need the fixing in first in order to make that work. Bring Low is pretty playable. I could take that. Glacial Stalker, also playable. Neither of them are super amazing. Rough Rider is very strong, but I don't think I want to take the Rough Rider before I get the fixing. Does that make sense? Because, I mean, there's an argument for Stalker or Bring Low. Both of those cards are perfectly acceptable. Neither of them are very exciting. And I feel like Scoured Barrens is potentially pretty good for us, especially if we see like a Murderous Cut or some removal we may or may not want or need. So Smite, Bring Low again. Another Scoured Barrens, though, which I'm still kind of feeling. I mean, this straight up just puts us in Mardu territory for splashing, just in case. Soothsayer is the strongest card in here. Defiant Strike's going to be pretty good with our prowess guys. Force Away is also pretty good, though. I think there's a higher chance we see Defiant Strikes later. Force Away is a pretty legitimately good card. So I think we're going to take that. All right, get another Force Away. It seems fine. It's also a Goblin Slide, but I think I'm just taking the Force Away. All right, I like the Canyon Lurkers. Stubborn Denial is playable. Horde Ambusher would be fine, but it looks like, well, we still could be red, blue, splash white, or we could be blue, white, splash red. We don't know yet, but I like the Canyon Lurkers enough to take it here. It works well with our Force Aways. For Ferocious, it works well with our Sage of the Inward Eye, gaining 5 life. So we'll take it. All right, Dragon's Eye Savants is fine. It's not an amazing card, but gives you information. Act of Treason is fine too, but I think I don't mind having the Savants here. I like being able to free morph. All right, Brave the Sands is a fine card. Very good in some matchups. I don't want to splash for either of these cards. So let's just take the Bravest Sands and set it in the sideboard. So we're definitely blue. And, I mean, we want to make the Sage of the Inward Eye work, so I presume we are going to be Jeskai base, but we're going to need some a little more direction here to really figure out fully where we want to go. I'm fine with taking the cancel. You know, Bloodsucker is splashable, but I don't think it looks all that good in this deck. We only have one guy with 4 toughness or more, so let's just take the cancel, which I'm not a huge fan of in this format. I think I've mentioned that before. A lot of times it just ends up being a crapshoot. You counter a morph. Not that there's anything wrong with countering a morph, but you don't know what you're countering. But it's certainly good against powerhouse cards your opponent have, like bomb spells. I've played it before. I've been happy with it, but overall, it's not as good in this format as it typically is in other formats. It's never really amazing in any format, honestly. So we could take another Wind Scout, which is fine. I think I like the Master more because it's good removal and it, I don't know, it's good removal and cantrips. Crippling Chill, Watcher of the Roost are both acceptable. Watcher's a little bit less good. I would take the Wind Scout over it because we're Jeskai, so I think we get more use out of it. I could just take the Wind Scout, but I think I like the Master of the Way enough. I certainly don't like passing the Rakshasa Death Dealer. That's a great card. But, I mean, obviously we're going to take either Master or Wind Scout. And there's a pretty good argument for Wind Scout here. Just because the more you get, I don't know. I have no problems getting a ton of them, but I really do like Master of the Way, so I'm going to take it. We're going to need some fixing to really be able to make it work, but I don't think that's too terribly hard. Like now, we're not really giving up anything, and we can take this Swiftwater Cliffs, which is very helpful. So I think we're just going to do that. Swift Kick is playable in a Jeskai deck, probably most playable in a Jeskai deck, but it's better with the Seeker of the Way or the what's his face, the Student. But let's take the Swiftwater Cliffs and be happy about it. Okay. We can take the Windscarred Crag, which is quite good. There's a Treasure Cruise, which is very good. Crippling Chill I want. Horde Chief I would like. I'm kind of feeling the Windscarred Crag. Just pick up Fixing now. I am giving up good cards to do that, though. I do want the Treasure Cruise. Treasure Cruise becomes a lot better if I have a lot of cheap spells, cheap non-creature spells. I should say cheap instant and sorceries, because you can fill up your yard quick. And then Treasure Cruise gets much better. So there is a reasonable argument for Treasure Cruise here. The Horde Chief also is very good. It's not optimal in this build, but it's always good. I think I'm just going to take the Windscarred Crag. I like having Fixing. I don't like having a mana base that needs help. So I'm going to take it. Alright, Winter Flame is reasonable. There's another Windscarred Crag. There's a Leaping Master. All of these are very reasonable. Very reasonable cards. I could take the Winter Flame. Kills Morphs. It's good removal. It's a little color intensive. Still inclined to take the Fixing. I know it might seem crazy, but it lets me... Taking the Fixing here really lets me take other cards later. Like having a Winter Flame or a Leaping Master doesn't make or break my deck. And we could table Warbeamoth or Leaping Master potentially. I'm going to take the Crag. Some people think I value Fixing too high, and I don't know, maybe there's an argument there. Alright, here I think I just take the Aerostorm. I'm a huge fan of this card. Being able to Lava Axe your opponent or a creature is pretty nice. War Shrieker is a pretty reasonable argument for that, but I don't like it as much in this deck. It does let us play a Morph Dude off of it, but it doesn't let us play a Wind Scout off of it. So I like it a little bit less, but I still do like it. I'm going to take the Aerostorm, though, just because I love that card. Okay, pretty easy. Bloodfire Expert. Prowess is good in Jeskai, and we look like we're blue, red, splash, white at this point, which is... This card still is fine on the splash. Not amazing, but fine. And yeah, I'm happy to get an expert. We could take the Crackling Doom. We have the Scoured Barons to play it as well. It's a fine card. But yeah, I mean, it's probably worthy of a splash. But it's not like an amazing card. It's certainly fine. It kills their biggest dude. I do like it. I think I'd rather have this expert, though. I'm going to take Prowess, I think, when I see it. So could take the Bloodfell Caves now. It still helps us play Mardu cards, which I do like. I certainly don't mind the Leaping Master, though. I think I'm going to take Leaping Master over the Bloodfell Caves now. Okay, get the choice again. I think I'm taking another Leaping Master. We'll push up the aggression of this deck a little bit. I'm not a huge Singing Bellstrike fan. Crippling Chill is a nice table. I do like the Trumpet Blast, rather, too. But I think Crippling Chill is just going to be better for us overall. Certainly good with Prowess. Although, I do like to play Crippling Chill on my opponent's turns to get the double tap down. But let's still take it. I love it. Okay. Well, Bear's Companion's in here, which is quite good, but we don't have the green fixing to make that work. I think we probably just take Stubborn Denial. Swift Kick doesn't look all that good in this deck, but Stubborn Denial's playable. I could see myself main decking it. It's certainly not optimal in this deck, because I don't have a lot of Ferocious, unfortunately. I don't have much Ferocious at all, as a matter of fact. It does work with Expert, though, so that's actually kind of good. But let's take the War Shrieker here, which is fine. Certainly better than the Tracker. All right, I could take a third Leaping Master, or I could take the Weave Fate. I think I am taking the Leaping Master. Weave Fate is fine, but Siegecraft, I guess I just cut white card there. Dragon Grip seems fine in this deck, actually. It turns on our Ferocious. Triggers Prowess. Perfectly good on a Wind Scout. So I like it. Oops. Accidentally let the thing time out, so it moved my stuff around. Ooh, well, it's our lucky day. We open Jeskai Ascendancy, which is certainly amazingly good in a Jeskai deck, so we'll take it. And we're passing Kieran, which I like, Treasure Cruise, which I'd like, Weapon Master would be great, but I think it's a clear Ascendancy pick. See the Unwritten. Is that worth anything? I gotta do a quick check. It's worth about a ticket and a half. There's some other very good picks in here, though. The Feat of Resistance, which is quite good. We only currently have 3 white spells in the deck. I mean, Feat of Resistance is certainly worthy of being played. I mean, it is optimal in Jeskai. The reason I kind of want to take this Windscarred Crag is we can really make our mana base quite good if we take it, and we're only about 2 to 3 cards short, because I might play 17 lands. We're only like 3 cards short of actually making a deck. So because of that, I'm valuing fixing quite high, because we're already close to a pretty nice deck, actually. I'm going to take this Crag. Okay, we can take the Tranquil Cove. We can take the Warname Aspirant, which is a nice aggressive card. I'm going to take the Cove. And then we'll have 5 fixers that are all quite good in this deck. And I still don't think we're going to be short of playables. Although Stubborn Denial's not like an optimal main deck. I keep saying optimal. And Cancel's not exactly something that I want to play. Bondkin is fine, but I don't like it as much in this deck. White being our lightest color currently. I do like the Warname Aspirant quite a bit. Taking Tranquil Cove does make our mana quite good. I guess Dragon Grip's not a great card either, but it's certainly good with the cheap guys we have. tempted to take this War Name Aspirant. I'm going to take the Aspirant over the Fixer there. I think this is really good for us. All right, Student, typically a fine card. I don't like it as much in this, even though we do have 3 pieces of white fixing to make it work. I'm a little more tempted to take a second Arrow Storm, which is just going to be a really nice way to finish our opponent off, I think. So I'm going to take it. Okay, there's a Weapon Master. There's another Student. There's a Winter Flame. I'm tempted to take this Weapon Master. And then perhaps cut Stubborn Denial, because it's a better sideboard card than main deck card, I think. I think that's fine. We don't have to play 18 lands either, something to keep in mind. But easy Weapon Master, I think. Alright, take up Arms. As mentioned before, typically good in Jeskai for Prowess decks, since it triggers Prowess. It's also good with Ascendancy. I don't mind taking it. It's not ideal on the splash. There's also Rush of Battle, which is a good card. Singing Bell Strike is probably playable in here. Still don't like it. I think I'm going to take this Leaping Master, and then at this point we're probably playing 17 lands. And this is going to help a lot if we're playing 17 lands. Like, we already have a deck here, and we top out at 5. It seems perfectly acceptable to play 17 lands, I think. So I'm going to take this over the Valley Dasher, even though the Valley Dasher is a nice aggressive card. We have a deck here at this point. I'm going to take this Tranquil Cove. Okay, Heart Piercer seems like a slam dunk. There's a Defiant Strike, which is fine in here, but we actually are playing a Jeskai deck that doesn't have that much prowess. We have double Wind Scout and a Bloodfire Expert is all, so not that much, and Heart Piercer is a phenomenal card when you're trying to be aggressive. So I think we're probably going to cut the Savants. Not that I have any problem with the Savants, but it's just, you don't want to be defensive when you're trying to make an aggressive deck. All right, Treasure Cruise seems like a slam dunk for us. We make a lot of early trades, and I feel like we can pee our hand out pretty quick, so having Treasure Cruise is going to be very helpful. And I think I run it over the Cancel. Even though Dragon Grip typically is not like a super playable card, I actually do like it in this deck quite a bit. All right, Quiet Contemplation seems fine. I had a lot of success with it in my last Jeskai deck, and we do have like 8 spells I can play off of it. Although 3 of our spells are pretty expensive. I'd have to have 6 mana to be able to do it. I could take a Glacial Stalker, which is just another beater, but I think I am going to take the Quiet Contemplation. All right. I think I went Valley Dasher over Wetland Sandbar. Yeah, seems fine. I'm going to have to figure this deck out. All right, can take the Wetland Sandbar. We're almost like mono red now at this point, interestingly enough. So I could take another 2-drop. All right, Heart Piercer Bow, whatever. Snakeskin. Okay, so we do have a very good deck. I don't think I want to be as bold as to play 16 lands. It just doesn't seem necessary when I have loot effects like Ascendancy and Treasure Cruise to draw. So we are going to play 17 lands, though. And I don't think we're going to have any issues there. So really, I just have to cut the weakest card in my deck, which I guess is actually the Dragon Grip. Even though I do like it in this deck, I think it's probably just a cut. It's an easy way to get 2-for-1 if your opponent has good removal. And it just doesn't seem necessary. Ascendancy doesn't seem as great in this deck. Because we only have... Without the Dragon Grip, we only have 8 spells. But that's still enough to get value off of it, I think. 8 is like the lowest number I'd probably want to go. War Shrieker actually doesn't look that good in this deck. So maybe because, I mean, Well, how many morphs do I have total? I just have 2. I don't think I can maximize War Shrieker, so maybe I do cut the War Shrieker and then bring back the Dragon Grip. Quiet Contemplation is also fine. Yeah, Quiet Contemplation is fine. It's a way to push through our cheap guys. Maybe I want the Contemplation over the Dragon Grip. I do like that the Dragon Grip allows me to play Forceaways for full value, but that's not completely necessary. Battle Priest seems a little out of place, but it's just such a good card in general that I don't feel like cutting it. It's pretty much our only way to gain life too. Well, no, Sage too. So we have 2 ways to gain life, which is good. Yeah, Battle Priest is pretty good. It's tough to deny that that card's good. I think I'm playing the Contemplation. We only have 8 ways, like I said, to activate it. Maybe it's not that good, actually. The problem is, like I mentioned earlier, 4 of our spells are 5 mana plus, which just doesn't play that well with Quiet Contemplation, I don't think. So maybe we are playing Dragon Grip. I guess I'm going to play Dragon Grip. Don't play this card very often. I could do the Cancel pretty comfortably. I think our mana base is good enough to support Cancel. But Cancel's not the card you want to trigger Prowess, and I think Dragon Grip is. We're never going to be able to flash it in unless we have Weapon Master, Lurkers, or a pumped Battle Priest. Actually, Bloodfire Expert too? Okay, well, never isn't right then. I guess we have like 4 ways to make Dragon Grip have instant speed, but you don't have to play it at instant speed for it to be good, I think. 14 creatures sounds about right if we still want to be able to get good value out of this Ascendancy, which I do. Yeah, I think we're going to run it like this. I do like the deck. I think it looks pretty nice. Don't have a ton of evasion, but we have a lot of aggressive. We have a good aggressive start, potentially. And the other thing I like is we can burn our opponent out quite easily. Like, if we get our opponent to a certain point, we can just Master the Way or Arrow Storm them out. Master the Way maybe not as good in this build because we tend to play our hand out pretty quickly. But we can hold on to lands once we get to like 5 mana. Yeah, we max out at 5. I guess Treasure Cruise, but I don't expect to ever really have to pay 8 mana for it. All right. Yeah. This looks good. Let's get our lands in there and design our mana base. So I'm pretty happy I picked up all these fixers. I think I might read some comments of people saying I should have picked some cards over the lands, but to be honest, I'm very happy with how our deck turned out, and now I'm very happy I have all of these fixers. It's really, I think it's going to make our mana base much better. Let's sort by color. Take a look at 4 white spells total in the deck. So I can't imagine I'd need more than 2 planes tops. Let's see what they say. They say 3 planes, which I think is probably excessive. And then this would be 6 blue sources. I don't like that. This seems like too much red. Even though red is my primary color, I probably don't need that many. I'd kind of like to have 8 blue sources if that's possible. But maybe that is excessive blue too. I don't know. This would be 6, 7, 8, 9 red sources and 8 blue sources and 6 white sources. I think I'm happy with the 6 white sources. I'm probably happy with the 8 blue sources, although maybe I do want 10 red sources because I really do need to hit those 2-drop red creatures. And having 10 allows me to reliably have the double red for Arrow Storms. 8. I guess, 9 red sources seems like I should see my red sources in my opener pretty consistently. I do have a lot of red, but I only need 1 red source. 9, I feel like with 9 red sources I should be able to reliably cast 2-drop red spells in almost any game. Like I said, I like this deck. I think it looks good. It's very aggressive, which I like. Our mana base looks good. We've got great finishing power. We've got ways to rebuild our hand after a lot of early trades. We have ways to push through damage really nicely. Dragon Grip is excellent at that, I think. 2-drop into Dragon Grip against some decks can be pretty brutal. And if they're not heavy removal, they're going to have a problem dealing with that. It's great on a Wind Scout. Force Away, Crippling Chill are going to help a lot to tempo our opponents out. And Arrow Storm and Master the Way are great too, so is the Heart Piercer. Like I said, Battle Priest is a little bit out of place, but it's certainly powerful enough where I think I want it. All right. Overall, I do like the deck. I'd rate it pretty highly. Wait a second. How did I put an extra land in? Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I do have to go to 7 blue sources, as much as I loathe to admit it. Yeah, I would like 9 red sources, so I guess I'm going to run 7 blue sources, which is probably still fine, I think. All right, so we'll run the deck like this. I think it looks quite good. Let's see how we do.